Hi, it's Tristan from Dark Wolf Productions, and I'm just here to review My Little Pony Season 2 and why it's obviously better than the first season. Well, first of all, they had a much bigger cast this season with all kinds of goodies and Easter eggs meant for an older cast, and a generation of stuff that I'll never be able to appreciate, ranging from Star Trek references actors all the way to something Mighty Duck reference. And then we have this whole cliche thing, though, that I kind of got tired of, where at the end of the season they went to love prevails over everything. And I thought, like, so what happened at the end with the whole seven elements of harmony crap, you know? At least that's more interesting than love prevails. It's a little corny. I think one of my favorite scenes in this season, though, was when a Hearts and Hose Day special, Sweetie Belle got all pissed off because one of their plans failed to get Big Macintosh and Cheerilee together on that day. And she just pumps out of a bush and just starts yelling, "Oh, come on." And there's all kinds of amazing fan art that went into that, too. And then we have a episode that I don't really like because I felt like it was more of a repeat of a season 1 episode. And it was basically the ponies were making their pony equivalent of beer. And they do it every year for the whole Ponyville town. And I guess they were understaffed, so everybody's complaining why they always ran out. And then at the end, Applejack ended up asking for help from the ponies, and that was just kind of the same thing from the season 1's episode. I think it was episode 4, where she had to buck the whole field by herself, where she wanted to, and she was too stubborn to ask for help until like the very end, where she's all like dying, and her friends have to come save her, and she's all woozy. Other than that, the season was just very good, with this Star Trek actor guy, I guess, who's famous for the Star Trek people out there, whatever. And then he even encourages bronies to go listen to classical music. And the way the brony community is, if you want something and you're part of the show, you'll get it. Some guy asked for a video game, and he got it. It was simple as that. This fighting is magic. And then we went to... basically, the season concluded normally, like any other. I think the conclusion to the season, though, was a hell of a lot better than season 1, whereas it was kind of a cliffhanger to me, where fine, they're at the gala. The gala was a piece of crap, and it all, like, pillars tumbled down and destroying everything. Where they just ended in some Joe's donut shop, you know, nothing really happened. You know, they admitted, like, oh, if you're, as long as you're with your friends anywhere, anything's okay. I'm like, that's great and all, but what happens after that? I kind of want some closure. I don't want to just be sat there or stuck there with you guys sitting in a donut shop. Whereas in season 2, I had a 2-episode special where Twilight's brother gets married to their old foal sitter, and then it turns out that the real full sitter was kidnapped and hiding somewhere, and it's just a bid for power from these changelings, which is, I guess, from Greek mythology. But then that happens, and the elements of harmony try to go get their element tiaras and necklaces, but they fight an army and they lose, and they get captured. In the end, like, everybody's all like, oh, it's all lost, we're all gonna die, and stuff like that. And then it gets really cheesy, where Shining Armor and then the full sitter, like Cadence, they just go together saying, my love will power you, and they do this little heart thing, and then they just defeat all the evil people around, and it's a happily ever after thing. I thought that was lame, but at least it brought closure. You know, I didn't have to worry about a lot of stuff, like at the gala, like how they got back, or what happened to the ponies that were drawing the carriage, or since that the carriage was a big old apple, was it all rotten and crap by the time they got back home? Or what were the chairs? Were the chairs made out of apple, or where did the furniture come from? And then there's season 3, which hopefully comes out next month. And I've heard all kinds of things relating to it. Things that more Trixie is coming back. A lot more. I've heard rumors of pairings, but honestly, it's a kid's show. I don't really think they're going to be into that, you know? There's also some like horrifying ones saying it might not happen. It might be the last season. That's not something I like. It's a good show. There's nothing wrong with it. But something I would like to see is like a more in-depth of a look at Scootaloo's parents. Because throughout the whole series, I mean, she's there. But the other Cutie Mark Crusaders, like Apple Bloom, she has her sister, and Applejack, and then Sweetie Belle has her sister, Rarity. You know, their families are introduced, like, on occasion more than once, except for Scootaloo, when she's just by herself. You know, like, even fan fiction has gone out of its way to say, oh, she's an orphan, or something weird like that. And I think a nice episode would be something like if Rainbow Dash adopted her, or something like that, something she's her idol. Or I would like to see Rainbow Dash's parents introduced, since it hasn't happened yet, and you've pretty much met every other pony's parents, you know? Or at least find out what happened to Applejack's, or some more lines for Big Macintosh, too. I think he only had, the most lines he had was when, in Season 2, the Cutie Mark Crusaders went out of control with a gossip column, and he was basically chewing him out. But even then, that whole scene was like 5 seconds, I think. But that was his most words he spoke in the entire series, I believe. And then I'd like to low a little bit more into that Cadence and Shining Armor stuff. Like, you just introduced the pairing, so you might as well go off with it a little bit more. And I've seen some trailers for Season 3 already, and it looks like they have, but I don't think as in-depth as I would like. And I would like to see Gilda come back and see what the hell her problem is, really. Or an episode, again, of all the ponies as their little kids, or fillies, whatever the term is. Because I thought that they were all adorable like that, you know? And I kind of want to see, like, if any of them knew each other as a kid besides Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. I want to see, like, if Rainbow Dash ever tried out for the Wonderbolts. I want to see that story progress. I'm tired of it just being mentioned and nothing being done with it. And thanks for watching my review for My Little Pony Season 2, and have a good night.